G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Jayzcee here. Today we've got an M35 Nissan Stagea from 2004, and initial reaction, this thing is just brilliant. Today I'm going to take you through a couple of pros and a couple of cons of owning an M35 Nissan Stagea. The first thing you notice when you get into one of these cars and start driving it is just how grippy and incredible at accelerating this car is, and that is due to the all-wheel drive system that this car has. It makes such a difference to acceleration and grip, something that shouldn't be possible in a car of this size, but somehow is. It makes a huge difference to the way this car handles and accelerates. And boy, does it accelerate. While we're on the subject of acceleration, this car has over 200 kilowatts of power, and in a straight line will beat my own personal Nissan Skyline. And when you combine that amount of power with this all-wheel drive system, you find that it leaves pretty much every other common car on the road for dead when you put the foot down. Whoa! Wow! The pickup on this thing, man! I can't believe it! It shouldn't be able to do this! And that brings me on to my third pro, is this car, it's a wagon. And it's not sporty looking. In no world should this car be able to go this quick. It's so impressive, and no one on the road would ever expect it. It looks like, you know, every other sort of common wagon on the road. It commonly gets mistaken for a Volvo. I don't understand how this car is this. I mean, obviously it's got a big enough engine, but why would you put the same engine from a 350Z into a wagon? Oh, I love it. It's so good. One major difference between the 2.5 litre turbo and the 3.5 litre NA is that this had a 5-speed gearbox, and boy does it make a difference. I always thought that, you know, 4-speed was a little bit too small for my liking. My Skyline has a 4-speed sports automatic, and I always feel like it's missing a gear. This car is just perfect. Like, it has those 5 gears, you know. It's not too much, it's not too little. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it makes a huge difference. Being a wagon, we cannot gloss over the fact that this car has a huge amount of room. And that's even before you fold the back seats down. The back seats in this car fold down all the way to make that already huge space even bigger. My brother, who goes riding on his bikes quite a lot, can fit a whole bike just in the boot. Insane. I wish I could do that in my Skyline. Also wish my Skyline was as fast as this car. While we're on the topic of pros, this car sounds absolutely incredible. And it's a different sounding noise to what you get in a straight six. This here is a V6, it's a VQ35DE, and as I mentioned before, that's the same engine that you get in the 350Z, the Infiniti G35, and even the later models of the Nissan Maxima. And that's not a sluggish engine, that is quite powerful. I've been trying for months now to work out just a couple of cons to this car, and I really struggled. Probably the biggest con of this car, and the first one that you will notice, is just how heavy this car is. This car weighs just over 1,700 kilograms, which is, it's not light. And because of its large weight, you find that you go through a 60-litre fuel tank a bit more quickly than what you might like to. The fuel efficiency on this is not something that you can boast about. It's about average, maybe a little bit below, but it doesn't sport a fantastic fuel economy. And hey, while we're on this incredibly small cons list, another thing that does bother me quite a bit about this car is how hard it is to replace the battery. They put it in a plastic housing under the hood, and that whole plastic housing needs to be removed if you need to replace the battery. And if you're someone that likes to do those easier jobs by yourself rather than taking it to a mechanic, that is going to drive you a little bit nuts when it comes to eventually having to do that job. This car does have a fairly long wheelbase, being a long and big car. That does mean that it doesn't turn corners like a sports car, but really, why would you want to in a wagon? And to be honest, it does a lot better than all the other wagons because of its all-wheel drive system. It has an immense amount of grip. But just don't expect, you know, for all the power, for this car to handle like a sports car. It might have the power of one, but that's about where it stops. I've been knowing for quite a long time that I was going to be doing a review on this particular Stagia, and I had no idea it was going to be this fun. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is probably the most fun car I've ever driven, purely because it's a quick car that shouldn't be this quick. It's a sleeper, and I love sleepers, man. It's got an engine from a sports car. It's hugely practical. It ticks most of the boxes for me. It's just an incredible car. As a matter of fact, I've got to get myself one of these. I can't imagine driving any other station wagon. If you are in the market for a station wagon and you are considering a Stagia, you're making the right choice. I would not look anywhere else. This is a brilliant, brilliant car. Anyway guys, this has been the M35 Nissan Stagea. Chuck a like if you guys own a Stagia or if you're considering getting one. It's a brilliant car. Drop a comment below of what you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notifications of when I upload. And we'll be seeing you soon. Peace out.